I'll be reading from the NIV, some of my favorite verses to contemplate in prayer and in need. Psalm 69, verses 13 through 18. But I pray to you, O Lord, in the time of your favor, in your great love, O God, answer me with your sure salvation. How could you not like that? Rescue me from the mire. Do not let me sink. Deliver me from those who hate me, from the deep waters. Do not let the floodwaters engulf me, or the depths swallow me up, or the pit close its mouth over me. Answer me, O Lord, out of the goodness of your love. Be gracious to me. In your great mercy, turn to me. Do not hide your face from your servant. Answer me quickly, for I am in trouble. Come near and rescue me. Redeem me because of my foes. And I believe the Lord penned this to help us when we go through great needs, when you and I go through great trials. And as we come out of those trials through his guidance, through his strong hand that pulls us out of that, we have to acknowledge him in every way to say, you did this. When I was in a pit of despair, when I didn't have my bearings straight, when it was really hard for me, God, you answered me in the time of your favor, in your great love, with your sure salvation, when everything was up to my neck, when I was sinking and being pulled under, when the slope below me was slippery and I was sinking even deeper due to that, when everybody surrounded me with loathsomeness, God, you didn't hide your face from me. You answered me quickly. You answered me, O Lord, out of the goodness in your love. In your great mercy, you were gracious to me. In your great mercy, you turned to me when I didn't deserve it. And in Philippians chapter 2, it tells us, hey, you guys, don't think too highly of yourselves. Hey, you guys, don't do anything out of vanity or selfish ambition, but learn to be considerate of others. Learn not to think only of your own selves, of your own interest, but the interest of others. And then he tells us in a very succinct phrase, assuming we know the gospel, I suppose, he says, let your attitude, let your mindset be like that of Jesus Christ, who, although he was God, took on the form of a servant, making himself nothing, emptying himself, being obedient to God unto death, even death on a cross. And so when God came to you, you didn't deserve it, nor did you earn it. And I hope you admit to yourself, before your Creator at least alone, to say, no, I was pretty obnoxious while you were cleaning me up. I was pretty against the goads when you were trying to keep helping me mature in this Christian life, God. I haven't been very kind to you. I've been pretty wicked to you in my attitude, and now I can see clearly your kindness is overwhelming because you have overlooked those days. You showed them to me later to perhaps glorify you. But you have to think about God when you meet somebody, when you see somebody in need. What would God do? Don't turn from them. Don't hide from them. Answer me speedily. And so, what do we do to reconcile our things? We do it speedily. We don't say, well, you know, he started it, and if he thinks I'm going to apologize first, he is crazy because he started it. If he apologizes first, sure, I'll apologize too. But was that what the attitude of the Lord Jesus would do? I don't believe so at all. Is that what Romans 12:18, as if possible, as far as it depends on you, make every effort to have peace with others? It doesn't mean you were the first one wrong. You could be, but you could not be. But as far as it depends on you, who? You, who know what God has done for you. You, who are adopting the attitude of Christ. As far as it depends on you, put those little tippies aside. Don't let them rankle you like they do. Why? Because your attitude is that of Christ, who emptied himself, who set aside all of his glory, because it wasn't that important. Why? Because he wanted to help us. He wanted to encourage us. He wanted us to know whenever we hit a slump, hey, there's somebody that undoubtedly loves you. And this ought to pull you up. And so think about the attitude of Christ. Think about it all day long through every situation. Because when they spat at Jesus, he had to choose to look at them tenderly. When they scoffed at his words, he had to choose to continue to be kind. Because his attitude was that of Christ himself, because he was set on God. It said he did everything that the Father desired him to do. And I know that's your desire, and really, it takes a lot of thinking, a lot of contemplation about the life of Christ during the Gospels to get to Philippians 2:5 and say, what is the attitude of Christ? It takes a lot of pondering through our days to understand his attitudes and interactions, such as John chapter 4. Sorry, I'm going on. But in John chapter 4, when the woman on the well talks to him, and she keeps pushing the conversation aside, but he doesn't leave. He stays there in gentleness, in his mercy, out of the goodness of his love, and his great love, in the time of his favor. He listened to her, to all she prattled on about, until what? Until she was ready to have the Lord forever in her heart. And so we've got to pick up that attitude, and it takes a lot of contemplation now, a lot of firming our resolve now to carry that out in the moments that come later that we are unaware of so far. So